Meinens, who were originally volunteers and staff members at Stewart's Caring Place until they sadly met an unfortunate need to become clients, family members of Stewart's Caring Place. So if you would please give your kind attention to Terry and Phil Meinen and their family this evening. Thank you.
Good evening. I'm going to try to get through this. This is going to be a little difficult. I'd like to introduce my family as they come up on stage here. These are my granddaughters, Mallory and Ronnie Meinen. My mom, Mary Falatok, Marissa Meinen, my son Eric, my husband Phil, my son Doug, his wife Angie, and Jennifer, Eric's wife, and she's expecting. We have them all here, all except for my daughter. My daughter just had a baby. She's in Louisville, Kentucky, so she couldn't be here. She would have been glad to be here with us. I'd like to start off saying my husband and I have known each other since we've been 11 and 12 years old. Now, the standing joke is every time he talks to somebody and says that we met that young, he said the first time we spoke, I asked him to marry him. So, and then by the time we had already been together like 9 years, we were talking marriage, and he finally said, you know, I don't know if I really want to get married. And I said, then why are we together? And he said, for companionship. And I said, get a dog. Yeah. But I had been a volunteer through Stewart's. I'm on the board of the Fairlawn Chamber of Commerce, area chamber. And I had met Evelyn at the chamber meeting probably 1 year after Stewart's opened. She invited me down to take a tour. At that time, we had quite a few members of our family that we had lost to cancer. My father of lung cancer, Angie's mom with breast cancer, 3 aunts, and both of my grandfathers. So we knew cancer was prevalent in our family, and we knew that Stewart's had a place in the community. At that time, I met with Don then, and he invited us and took my husband on a tour, and Phil decided, yes, we wanted to be part of Stewart's. He gave us a choice of either sponsoring the Gala or sponsoring the Hope Walk. I decided to take on the Hope Walk at that time because it was presented as a family. It was presented as a picnic and a reunion, and I thought with my business of Primerica, everything was oriented around family, that I would like to do that. So I took on that role with the Hope Walk. Well, last year, cancer's ugly head reared itself. And my son Doug was diagnosed with a melanoma. My mom was diagnosed with colon cancer, and my husband was diagnosed with lymphoma. So our year, last year, was very, very rough. Of course, through the years, Stewart was a big part of us. And out there in the community, I was always talking Stewart's, trying to pull in donations for Stewart's. Everywhere I went, people knew what I was going to say as soon as I opened my mouth, come and take a tour at Stewart's. Well, last year, Phil, my son and my mom, was able to have surgery. My husband, his lymphoma could only be treated with chemo. Well, by the time they started the chemo, it was started in the pelvic, and it was as large as a football. The chemo he took, they had to do the radical one, the radical chop, and it destroyed everything in him. All his immune system. We spent most of last year in the hospital. My family was great support. His veins collapsed. They had to put in a port. The port got infected. They had to do surgery. He continually had infections. And finally, at the end, he ended up with C. diff too. So right now, all 3 of them have had their checkups, and I can say that we're survivors right now. Phil just had his 3-month checkup. A along with my son and my mom. My mom goes back for hers next month. So we know how important Stewart's been. As I was going through this, I had so many friends that at Stewart's I was able to talk to. The information that I got came from the library. Right there, I knew exactly what type of cancer my husband did have then and how rapidly it did grow. And all I can say is that Stewart's is definitely needed. The patient is taken care of, but yet the family members need the help. I know right now my husband and my mom both continue to receive massages there, and they absolutely love them. And before I got here tonight, I received 2 phone calls. Close friends that I had talked to about Stewart. One was Bev Green, and she is an ovarian survivor for 7 years now in the ovarian group. She goes, as you speak, please let them know that it is so important for our groups to get together. There's support with the relatives and with friends, but until you walked in the shoes, you're able to talk to people who are going through what you're going through right now. I got another call from Chris Hill. I worked out with her at the natatorium. She remembered me trying to collect money from her and talking about Stewart's. Well, I walked into Stewart's one day and there she was. Her son was diagnosed with a brain tumor. She had came down to Stewart's, got the support. She has since lost her son. She said the kids are still there participating in the programs. And again, without those programs, she doesn't think the kids could have gotten through the loss of their father. At this time, what I'd like to do is I'm going to bring up my granddaughters. They've made a poem for you, and they'd like to recite the poem. Are you guys ready? Oh, how are we going to do this? Take it out. This is Mallory, and this is Ronnie.
At night sometimes I'm way too tired to kneel down and pray. At night sometimes I close my eyes and don't know what to say. But last year it was different when Papa Phil was sick. We prayed that he'd get better, and those prayers, they did the trick. God gave us special people when things are hard to face. Those very special people were from Stewart's Caring Place. So thank you for the things you do. Your job is like no other. And thank you, God, for Mom and Daddy and Alex, our baby brother.
Yes, we did have one other missing, and that's our baby brother. He's 3. We wasn't sure if we could tie him down on stage or not. But one reason we did choose Stewart's also for our support is that anything that you bid and what you do tonight goes 100%, stays right here into the community. And I want to ask these girls, if someone needs help or they need someone to talk to, where can they go?
Stewart's Caring Place.
If they need a wig, where do they go?
Stewart's Caring Place.
If they need information or a library,
Stewart's Caring Place.
a massage or nutrition,
Stewart's Caring.
and how about all the children's program? What did you guys just do?
Yoga.
And how much is it going to cost them?
It's for free.
We'd like to thank you for your time tonight. And thank you for helping me get through this.
If you'll kindly stay with us, do you mind staying with us up on stage? Do you mind doing that? And Heather's going to... Are you okay, or do you need to you okay? Okay, if you do need to head out, that's great as well. Heather's joining us. Ladies and gentlemen, one more big round of applause for the Meinen family, please. Thank you so much for being here and sharing your story. Ladies and gentlemen, all of the services are for free, but they do come with a cost. The money has to be raised.